There are a lot of toss juggling tutorials for 5 balls, but there are very few tutorials about 5-ball bounce juggling. By the end of this video, you'll learn plenty of exercises to help you learn this really cool trick. Before you learn how to juggle 5 balls, you need to be extremely comfortable with the 3-ball cascade and the 4-ball fountain. Somewhat obviously, you need to know how to bounce juggle 3 balls with a lift bounce, since we're learning how to do a 5-ball lift bounce cascade. I don't have a tutorial yet for the bounce 4-ball fountain, so check out my tutorial for the toss version instead. You don't need to know how to juggle 5 balls in a toss pattern to learn how to do it in lift bounce, because it's a little easier with lift bouncing, as usual, which is nice. First, I wanted to talk to you about what it's like to juggle 5 balls. When I was learning 5 balls, everyone told me that it was going to be really difficult, and I think I believed them, but on some level I didn't fully comprehend the amount of time and effort and frustration that go into learning 5 balls. 5 balls is a really hard trick. Don't be discouraged if you're having a hard time. For most people, just to get 10 catches of 5 balls takes a long time, and to fully feel like you can actually do 5 balls takes years for a lot of people. My advice would be to practice almost every day, not long, about 10 to 15 minutes each day. Also, make sure that you're working on something else that's fun. Maybe some 3-ball tricks that are more playful. Just don't go and practice 5 balls and do the same thing day in and day out for months on end. You're gonna drive yourself crazy and it's just not gonna be that much fun. Another thing I wanted to talk about briefly is the differences between toss juggling and bounce juggling 5 balls. Bounce juggling and a lift bounce, you don't need to throw the balls that high. This makes lift bouncing a little bit easier than toss juggling. However, with lift bouncing, like always, there are collisions. So in that sense, toss juggling is easier because it's easier to practice. If you can, I highly recommend that you get some kind of small enclosure to practice your bounce juggling. In this video, I'm going to talk about exercises that I personally found most helpful for bounce juggling 5 balls. I'm also going to talk about exercises that I personally didn't find helpful, but that you could find helpful. 5 balls is not like other tricks. There's not one way that works for everyone to learn it. First, do a 3-ball flash. A flash means that there's a moment when both hands are empty. Take 2 balls in your dominant hand and 1 ball in your non-dominant hand. Release them quickly, one after the other, then catch all the balls. See how my hands are empty. Once that feels comfortable, do the same thing starting with your non-dominant hand. Then you can practice switching sides. Do a flash from your dominant side, catch. Do a flash from your non-dominant side, catch. Some people also find it helpful to do flashes continuously without collecting in between each run. However, this is always tricky to me and I don't particularly like it that much, but I want to put it here as another option that might help you. The reason I find it difficult is because the sight swap for continuous 3-ball flashes is 5-5-5-0-0, and the 0 makes it hard to get the right timing. However, it's a great way to practice the speed for 5-ball juggling, only with 3 balls. There are a few more 3-ball exercises that you might find helpful. One is to do 3 balls with a long dwell time. Dwell time refers to how long you hold the ball before it's thrown again. I actually really love this exercise for toss juggling, but for some reason, it really doesn't help me with bounce juggling that much. When you do 3 balls with a long dwell time, that means you wait until the last possible second to throw the ball. The alternative is to do 3 balls with a short dwell time, which means as soon as the balls go into your hands, you release them. I don't find this one to be helpful with bounce or toss juggling, but Taylor recommends it, so I'm sure it helps a lot of people. The next step is to do a 4-ball flash. Take 2 balls in each hand and throw them one after the other. First, practice starting with your dominant hand. Once that feels comfortable, practice starting with your non-dominant hand. The next thing is to practice flashing 4 balls from one side, collecting all the balls, then flashing 4 balls from the other side. Keep doing this until it feels comfortable. You can also try to do 4-ball flashes continuously. Basically, you're juggling 5 balls, but there's just one gap where the 5th ball would be. I find this one to be pretty difficult. I don't have a good video to show you, but hopefully you get the idea. Another 4-ball exercise that I really like is left, left, right, right. You start with 3 balls in your dominant hand and 1 ball in your non-dominant hand. You're gonna make 2 throws with your dominant hand and then 2 throws with your non-dominant hand. This is one of my favorite patterns for practicing 5 balls with toss juggling, but I don't like it that much with bounce juggling. I don't know why, but I don't find it to be as helpful or as intuitive. It's almost time to pick up that 5th ball, but there's still one more thing that you need to practice next. And that's releasing 3 balls from one hand. You only need to practice how to release 3 balls from your dominant hand. I hold these 3 balls in a triangle. The ball in front between my middle finger and my index finger is thrown first. The ball that's thrown next is the ball between my thumb and my index finger. And the red ball between my pinky finger and my ring finger is thrown last. I always like to put the red ball in this spot because it's going to be the 3rd ball thrown from my right hand, which means it's going to be the 5th ball thrown overall. That means that every time I catch the red ball, I've made another 5 catches. If you have balls that are all different colors, just pick one to always be the 3rd ball in your right hand. After you throw one ball, make sure to roll the other ball to the tips of your fingers. And after you throw that ball, make sure to roll the other ball as well. It's also important to talk about catching 3 balls in one hand. I catch the first ball between my thumb and my index finger. I catch the second ball between my palm, my ring finger, and my pinky. I catch the last ball in the open space using my index finger and my middle finger. Make sure to practice catching 3 balls in one hand with both hands. Then you're ready for 5 balls. For this step, you're just gonna go for a flash. A flash is where you throw each ball once and you catch each ball once. Most of you are going to want to keep going and doing more throws and more catches. However, with 5 balls, you really need to make sure that those first 5 throws are super clean and super solid, because if you mess up on those 5, it's really hard to recover and do the rest of the trick correctly. So first, we're just going to practice releasing 5, catching 5, and then stopping. You're going to have to release the balls one after the other. It's going to be pretty quick. If you've never flashed 5 balls before, let me say that it's a lot more difficult than it looks. Don't be frustrated if it takes you a while to flash 5 balls. Once you're able to flash 5 balls consistently, you can try to qualify them. A qualify means that you throw and catch each ball twice. So it's a flash times 2. For 5 ball juggling, a qualify is 10 throws and 10 catches. But you don't want to go straight from a flash to a qualify. The idea is that you want to slowly build up to it. So first, go from 5 throws and 5 catches to 6 throws and 6 catches, then 7, then 8, then 9, then 10. 5 balls is hard, and you need to be really intentional during your practice sessions to make it work. Another option is to go from 5 throws and 5 catches to 7 throws and 7 catches, to 9, and then to 10. The reason that I like going from 5 to 7 rather than 5 to 6 is because when I go to 5 to 7, that means each hand is making 1 extra throw than before. I honestly don't think it matters that much as long as you just keep slowly incrementing your throws and your catches. Once you qualify 5 balls, I want you to do something to celebrate. It's a really important milestone in your juggling journey when you qualify 5 balls, and it's something that you should be really excited and really proud that you learned. 5 balls is a really difficult trick, so of course you're going to run into problems as you learn it. Here are a few of my best tips that help you when you're learning 5 balls. The first problem is that 5 balls is really fast. Go back to the 3 and 4 ball flashes so that you get used to the speed, then work your way back up to 5 balls. The next hard part is going from 5 catches to 10 catches. The trick is to slowly increment, as I talked about before. Another thing that was super helpful to me was having a tracker ball. I had already qualified 5 balls with toss juggling, but I couldn't qualify 5 balls with bounce juggling because all of the balls were the same color and I was really confused as to what was happening. And once I got the tracker, I qualified that same day. The last problem is that even when you can qualify consistently, it's still hard to run 5 balls. Once one throw is bad, that's when the whole pattern usually falls apart. It's very difficult to correct in the middle of the pattern because it's so fast. If you're having trouble running the pattern, go back to the 3 ball flash, then go to the 4 ball flash, then go back to the 5 ball flash. Keep going through that cycle over and over again and you'll get better and better. Something else that can be useful is that you don't have to go straight from qualifying to running it until you mess up. You can go from 10 catches to 15 catches, then you can go from 15 to 20 catches, and so on. It's not as boring as just flashing 3 balls for 15 minutes, but it's still a focused, intentional practice session. If you learn how to bounce juggle 5 balls from this tutorial, please let me know. That would be really cool to hear. Next week, I'm going to show you how to do some beginner club stuff. Keep practicing and have fun.